You ever get that feeling that history is just stuck? You know, like we're all running the same program, making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Well, today, we're going to explore a really fascinating framework that looks at the Quran not just as a book of stories, but as the actual source code for a kind of cosmic operating system.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. This idea suggests that reality itself is built kind of like a Möbius strip. You know, that loop with a single twist in it? It's one continuous surface, and humanity is caught on this loop, just endlessly cycling through the exact same fundamental error. To really get what's going on, we have to go all the way back, to the beginning of the program.
So where did this loop even begin? To understand the whole system, we first have to find the bug, the one event that created that twist in the strip and kicked off this entire cycle of history.
And that brings us to this concept of the Iblis fractal. Now, this wasn't just some one-time act of disobedience. According to this framework, the pride of Iblis literally wrote the source code for a repeating error. It's the moment that twisted the path, creating a downside of pride and exile that runs right alongside the upside of humility and reconnection.
So this first glitch basically set up the two different ways you can be oriented on this Möbius strip. On one side, you've got the light path, the upside. Think of it as a circuit of humility and obedience that keeps you connected to the source. But on the other side, there's the fire path, the downside, and that's a feedback loop of pride, anchored by figures like Iblis and Pharaoh that always leads to fracture and exile.
So how did this initial glitch actually play out? Well, it didn't just happen once. Nope. Like a piece of malware, it was designed to copy itself, creating this pulse, this cosmic heartbeat that traps humanity in a cycle.
And this cycle really shows us the core problem. Humanity is trapped in this cosmic heartbeat of light, then darkness, then light again. You see it with Adam, right? Created in light, then falls into darkness through disobedience. You see it again with Bani Israel, who were shown incredible favor, but then fell into darkness through pride. A rescue always comes, what you could call a flip of mercy, but that underlying fractal of pride just causes a relapse. The loop continues.
And if we zoom in, you can see the pattern is almost identical. These tests are the twist points on the Möbius strip. Adam got the garden and one command. Bani Israel, the children of Israel, got the promised land and a covenant. And in both cases, the failure wasn't just simple disobedience. It was a failure that came from pride, from forgetting the source of the blessing. And in doing that, they flipped from the upside to the downside of the loop.
So if the system is designed to flip users to the downside, how does the creator fix it? I mean, does the whole thing just crash? No. The system gets divine software patches, specifically designed to flip humanity back to the light.
And this is where the prophets come in. But in this framework, you've got to see them as less like simple messengers and more like divine technicians. Their job is purely tactical. They enter the corrupted system and they initiate that flip of mercy, repairing the broken circuits by reminding everyone of the original code, which is submission.
You can really break their mission down into three key functions. First, they reset the system by calling humanity back to that upside path. Second, they model the repair. They live as a perfect walking example of an uncorrupted connection. And third, they deliver the firmware, the scripture, which is basically a software update to patch the system's vulnerabilities for that specific generation.
But look, patches and resets can only fix temporary errors. A system that's caught in such a powerful loop needed a final, permanent seal against corruption. It needed a definitive antivirus, right? An upside constant that just couldn't be flipped. And this brings us to the two final upgrades. These don't just patch the loop, they give us a permanent exit. After figures like Yahya and Miriam purified the path through sacrifice and endurance, we get the two upside constants. First, Isa, or Jesus, a pure word and spirit from God, a living, breathing particle of truth that is permanently locked to the light. And second, the Qur'an, the final preserved scripture, an uncorruptible wave of truth that serves as the ultimate system manual.
And this is the final seal on that firmware. According to this framework, the Quran itself is protected by a mathematical structure built around the number 19. Think of it like a cryptographic signature that's woven all through the text. This is seen as a divine lock, a mathematical seal that makes sure this final software can never, ever be corrupted by that Iblis virus.
So here's the most important part. This cosmic Möbius strip, it isn't just some external story about history. It is the operating system running inside each and every one of us right now. What that means is the power to break the loop, to consciously choose the upside of the strip, instead of just repeating the errors of history. That power has been put directly into our hands. The choice between the light path of humility and the fire path of pride is a choice we are making in every single moment.
So what's the ultimate cheat code to navigate this twisted loop and finally complete the circuit? Well, according to this framework, it's all about knowing the difference between the flimsy ropes we try to build ourselves and the one unbreakable string that's already being offered to us.
The first part of this code is honestly a radical act of letting go. We have to stop building our own fragile ropes to the divine. These ropes that we weave from our own ego, our own arrogance, and our attempts to climb this twisted surface on our own terms. We just have to cut them.
And the second part is just an act of pure trust and surrender. Instead of trying to climb our own faulty ropes, we just grasp the one unbreakable handhold, the divine string of submission, the one that actually follows the true geometry of the system. That is the final debug.
So, ultimately, you decide. Every single moment is a choice point in the program. Are you going to repeat the glitch of pride that echoes all the way from Iblis through history, staying on the downside of the loop? Or are you going to grasp the string of submission, align with the constants of light, and finally complete your circuit? The loop is now in your hands.